Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about Black Clover episode 83. Okay, so first of all, I didn't review episode 82. It turned out to be a filler episode, which was just kind of like some charmy stuff. I have to admit, I didn't even watch it. I may go back. I'm not against just kind of fun fillery episodes. That's fine. I just didn't make time for it, and I knew that I wasn't going to review a filler episode like that, so no harm, no foul. It is what it is. But we're picking back up in episode 83 with the fight with Langris going out of control and Asta kind of getting all jazzed up. And I like this episode a lot, actually. So we last left off with this like kind of plot line anyways, with Julius basically jumping both teams to the semifinals because whatever. We technically had a few matches prior to semifinals, but I don't know. I haven't been really keeping track of how many teams were left in this. Either way, so Asta's team up against Langris' team. Just decide it right here and now. Get it out of the way. And we start off with Zora basically taking on Langris' attacks. He's got his deflection magic or his trap spells and whatever. The first magic ring that he puts up doesn't do anything. Langris' spatial magic goes right through it, and that's like, oh no, magic went right through it. What's he gonna do? And then he had a freaking magic circle on his body, which is super cool. I like Zora a lot. I think he is a great addition to this series in general. Yeah, I'm super cool with it. In any event, he gets kind of like, he doesn't get like busted up or anything, but like some of his clothing gets kind of torn up from the magic, but it ultimately gets dispersed in some way. He sends it flying back at Langris, and Langris then absorbs it, and there's a whole thing between the back and forth of the magic that was shot at Zora in the first place. It doesn't matter though, because really Zora was just kind of biding time for Asta, who was powering up his anti-magic form, and really the rest of the match is just Asta kicking Langris' butt. Before I move on though, I do have to say, I don't know why I never noticed this before, and I'm sure I have and I just forgot about it, but Asta, when he goes into this form, gets like a kind of like a weird horn thing, and I realize it's anti-magic, so it's not magic, it's anti-magic, but like, there's definitely some kind of demonic thing going on with this, whether it's like the sword has some kind of demon or something inside of it that also has anti-magic as an ability, and then that's what like kind of possessing him when he takes over with the anti-magic form. Seems like a lot's going on with it, and I'm sure that they'll reveal all of its secrets eventually, but that seems to be my current thought process of how he looks. He looks like he's being taken over by a demon, so even if he's technically using anti-magic itself, probably a demon's something or other. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. In any event, Asta inspires the heck out of everybody, talking about how Langris is really just acquiring power and status and whatever, just to fuel his own needs and whatnot. Meanwhile, all the rest of the Magic Knights, that Asta's concerned with, basically are doing it just to help each other, and everybody's looking out for each other and trying to make each other better and protect each other and all that good stuff, and that inspires the heck out of the entire crowd. And yeah, it's really one of those things where he's the pro tag, he gives a pretty decent speech, and everybody's like, wow, good job, buddy. In the end, Asta rushes at Langris, destroying all of his magic, and has to like flat part of his sword Langris right in the gut, and just sends him flying right through the crystal. And it's funny because it's like, in every other case, Asta with his swords, they're swords, they do stuff, they cut and they slice and they dice and whatnot, but when he's up against like people that he's like friends with, or even just like in tournament situation like this, where it's like, he can't cut Langris in half, he has to like hold back in a sense and like use the flat part of his swords, no matter what kind of sword he's using, whether it's the big like Buster Sword one or like the smaller one for speed. It's really kind of funny that he has to like kind of like adjust his own attacks even when he's in the anti-magic form. It shows that at the very least in some capacity he's thinking. In any event, he sends Langris flying through their crystal, and the problem, though, is that Asta's crystal gets smashed at the same exact time, and I don't know whether it's, like, the kind of thing where it's, like, maybe Langris sent magic towards there, because it was a bunch of holes rather than just, like, it being shattered in general. So, I think it was just kind of like, oh, they both attacked, whatever. So both crystals got smashed to hell, and they happened at the same time, so the match was ultimately a draw. However, Asta seems kind of bummed out. We don't see a whole lot of him because he's exhausted from the entire ordeal and the tournament in general. So he's kind of looking like he's disappointed that he didn't win. But it ultimately doesn't matter. Everybody kind of crowds around him and is like, yo, good job, buddy. Go get some rest. Everything's cool. So he's definitely got that kind of Naruto effect where it's like everybody underestimates him at first, except for maybe his close friends. And then when he finally does something cool, everybody rallies around him and is like, oh yeah, I believed in you the entire time. Ha 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 ha. After the match ends, Zora does what he does best and starts insulting everybody. And that's the thing. He insults everybody, but there's always a little bit of a truth / helpfulness to it, where it's he tells Aha to basically go F off, and maybe he doesn't belong in the Magic Knights to begin with because he's just a hack. He tells the girl with the puffy hat that uses the snow magic, that she should be more involved. She didn't really do anything in the last match, so I don't know. And then he tells Mimosa that sometimes it's best to kind of not just think about what's best for everybody else, but to kind of think outside of the box when doing things, because during the whole match, she ends up healing him, and he doesn't particularly care for that because he's kind of got a thing about royals. So he basically tells her that she's needs to think outside of the box, essentially. As for Asta, I believe he says he's an idiot or something like that, but then there's some kind of backhanded compliment. He thinks pretty highly of Asta, I think, at this point, and then he kind of reflects back down on himself and calls himself an idiot. And here we are, some character growth, where he basically is listen, I guess we are all chill. I kind of like these people. Whatever. I think I'd like to see him more expanded a little bit more on. And I really do like him. I like Zora a lot. I think he's a really cool character, and I want to know why his mouth is all weird, other than just, fashion statement. So I want to see a lot more of him. The rest of the episode is largely just kind of how the first part of the tournament was, where it was a little bit rapid fire. We got a couple of matches. In the next match, we get the captain of the Azure Deer, Rill, and his team up against Luck and his team, the Big Woman and the Four Eyes guy. Oh my god, Klaus. But I assumed it would be this crazy match, and there was still half of the episode left or whatever, and ultimately it ended pretty quickly, and it's kind of to be expected. Rill is a captain, so obviously he's going to be super powerful and be able to just kind of squash anybody that comes after him. So the long and the short of it is Luck and his team make a kind of a spear cannon with Luck's lightning spear thingamajigger, and they're basically copying a team from earlier in the tournament, and they're we're just gonna do this in one shot, we're gonna take them out, we're gonna do what we gotta do. And Rill is no. So he makes a giant kind of Zeus looking painting thingamajigger and redirects that lightning spear all the way back at Luck and his team. And so even though technically it couldn't be stopped by anything particular, it could be redirected. So that's basically how the match ended. Their crystal got destroyed. Rill moves on to the finals. And oh boy, if you didn't think that last match was that was quick or whatever, at least they both had main characters, or at least important characters in each team, I did not realize that there was another fodder team. Like, a team comprised of absolutely nobody. It was basically just like some random designs that they threw in there. Were like, okay, we need a red guy, we need a blue guy, we need a white guy, we got a whatever. And they were like, all right, we're gonna put them against Yuno's team and just let Yuno win. So needless to say, Yuno's team destroys them. Yuno does it all by himself. He just destroys the crystal, and that's basically their entire match. Why they even needed this match, I don't know, but I don't know, they could have gotten rid of these nobodies much earlier on in the tournament. I don't know. But I will say, so just like I like Zora and his whole like backstory, and I like him as a character, I really, really like Yuno as also kind of like a rival. He's clearly a rival to Asta that's been set up long ago. No qualms about that. There's nothing for us to dispute there. Him and Asta are rivals. But I do like their rivalry, because like a lot of rivalries in anime and manga are usually like, oh, you have the main character, like the main character, and then the rival is usually like a dickhead or like some kind of like just super unlikable person, and you're stuck wondering, why does the main character care about this person? Why would they want to have anything to do with this person? It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Why would Naruto even care about Sasuke? He sucks! Anyways, so Yuno and Asta, I like them a lot together. Even though they are rivals, they definitely have that kind of like, they're basically brothers. They love each other on the inside. They don't show it always on the surface, but like there's definitely a deep connection between them that like they show very well. Yuno has kind of an inner monologue where he talks about how he believes in Asta and he'll get back up stronger and better than he was before. So I really like their connection. The end of the episode is basically them just setting up the final match of the tournament, because Asta's team got a tie with Langris' team. There's kind of some weird stuff going on with that. So basically it's Yuno's team against Real's team. Whoever wins this technically wins the tournament, I guess. There's not really any rules anymore for this, I guess. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. They just basically set up the Yuno team versus Real team. And it should be exciting. I'm excited to see how this ends. Presumably after the tournament, they kind of compile all the people that they thought did well. And eventually they move on to a separate part of this test. Because, oh boy, it's really hard to keep track of the fact that this is a test within a test, I guess. It's a tournament within a test to see who will go and fight the bad guys. In any event, I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. How about you? Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll get all the notifications when I upload. Hopefully. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.